Okay, pre-cal, this video is going to be your examples for positive and negative coterminal angles. So the first thing we're going to do, I want you to notice that I have drawn out the XY coordinate plane for you, the XY axes, because I think seeing it visually is going to help you understand how to find positive and negative coterminal angles. Many of you will catch on to this pretty quickly and you won't necessarily need the visual to find your answers, but for those of you, and especially beginning, you might need them. So for each of these, we're going to find one positive and one negative coterminal angle. Please keep in mind that I'm just going to give you one positive and one negative coterminal angle. There are actually an infinite amount of angles that you could choose from. All right, so the first thing we're going to do in all of these, we're going to graph appropriately, showing our initial and terminal sides of our angles, the angle that's given. So my initial side, of course, is going to be the positive x-axis. This is a positive 40 degrees, so I'm moving in the counterclockwise direction, approximately 40 degrees. There's my given angle. Now what I want is a positive coterminal. So I want a positive angle here that also begins here and ends here. Okay, so it's got the same initial, same terminal sides. It's got to have a different measure. So when I move around here to 40 degrees, I've got to keep going until I get back over there. Okay, so essentially what I've done is taken the whole rotation of the circle and added that 40 degrees to it. So that gives me a positive value of 400 degrees. Now I am going to find a negative coterminal angle. Again, I'm starting here and I'm ending here. And since this is negative, of course, I am going to be moving in the clockwise direction. So now I'm moving from here all the way to here, which, as you'll notice, I moved in the negative direction. So negative 360 plus that 40 degrees that I didn't move right there all the way around is going to give me negative 320 degrees. Neato. Okay, the next problem, we have a negative 390 degrees. Let's keep this a little more consistent here. Negative 390, I'm starting here, and of course, negative 390 is more than 360, so I am actually going to move all the way around the circle counterclockwise, plus another 30 degrees. Okay, so keep in mind this small angle here is a 30-degree angle, but I have moved all the way around, and that is negative 390. So now I'm going to find a positive coterminal angle. So I'm going to start here, I'm going to end here. Remember, I'm going counterclockwise, so I'm moving that direction. So that's actually 360 minus the 30 degrees. So that's going to give me a positive 330 degrees. Okay, now I want a negative coterminal angle. So I'm starting here, I'm ending here, and since negative 390 was so large, actually all I have to do is move just that negative 30 degrees. That's all to get to that terminal side. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, and this next one, I've got 137 degrees, so I'm going to start by graphing that. So that's my positive 137 degrees. And of course, I want another positive angle with a different measure that starts and ends in the same place. That's the definition of coterminal. So it's going to start here and end here, but rather than stopping at 137, we are going to continue rotating all the way around. So I've got 360 plus 137, which gives me 497 degrees for my positive coterminal. All right, now I am going to find a negative coterminal angle. So I start here, I end here, and now of course I'm moving in the negative direction, and that of course is going to be negative 360 plus the 137, which is going to give me negative 223 degrees. Or you could just think of it as moving in the negative direction 223 degrees. You don't have to show that subtraction right there. You can just use your brain. All right, so we are now going to look at doing the same thing with radians. Radians are actually easier in my opinion, but you know, we have different opinions, so let's see if they jive together. All right, so I've got pi over 6 radians. So of course I know that that is going to be roughly right here in the positive direction. And now of course I want to find another positive value that starts and ends in the same spot. So I want a positive coterminal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here and end here. And of course, since I want it to be a different measure than pi over 6, I've got to start here and move in the counterclockwise direction and then go all the way around. Well, so what I'm doing is I'm essentially adding to pi over 6 another rotation of the circle, which of course in radians is going to be 12 pi over 6, because remember, in the top half of the circle, if my denominator is 6, I've got 6 equal pieces in the top and 6 equal pieces in the bottom. So that means that all 4 quadrants combined would be 12 pi over 6. So that is going to give me 13 pi over 6 radians. That's my positive coterminal. All right, now, of course, I want a negative coterminal angle. And again, I'm going to start here and end here, but I'm going in the opposite direction. So I'm going this way. So I want you to notice now it's a whole rotation of the circle, so 12 pi over 6, but I didn't finish it out by continuing through pi over 6. So it's technically negative 12 pi over 6 plus pi over 6, which gives me a negative 11 pi over 6 radians. And again, you can just think of that as rotating. Okay, I'm going through 6 pi over 6 and then 5 pi over 6 to add it to negative 11. All right, now in this next problem, we have a negative 2 pi over 3 radians. So I'm going to start on my positive x-axis, and I am going to move through negative 2 pi over 3 in the negative direction. So in the negative direction, of course, I am going to move this way. And remember, if you have a denominator of 3, that means the top half has 3 equal pieces and the bottom half has 3 equal pieces. So I've moved through 2 of them here. And now I am going to find a positive coterminal angle. I'm going to start here, I'm going to end here, and I'm going to move this way. So how many pi over 3s did I move through? Well, I moved through 3 pi over 3 and then 1 more. So that is going to be 4 pi over 3 radians. Okay, and my negative coterminal angle is going to start here and end here. And of course, it is going to go through this direction just like the initial angle did, but it's got to keep going. So it's actually the whole circle in the negative direction, which would be 6 pi over 3. And then, of course, the 2 more in the negative direction, these 2 more right here in the negative direction. So that'd be negative 8 pi over 3 radians. Okay, that's how you do these. I know you're excited.